Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Got a new law out of the state of Florida, and believe it or not, if I had that license plate with that frame on the back of my car in Florida right now, I could get pulled over and charged with a crime. Not just a ticket, a crime. Lewis sent me notes. And Steve, I bet everyone sent you this story, and no, Lewis, you were the only person. And I saw the story in carscoops.com, but I went and pulled the bill itself, the actual law. I have it in my hands. It's a short one. It's only 4 pages long. House Bill 253, which took place and was passed and took effect October 1st. October 1st. And the title of it is this long because it's a statute written by legislators. But basically, it is an act relating to offenses involving motor vehicles having to do with lighting and license plates. And the lighting is something which is already pretty much the law in many places, but you cannot put red and white, or blue lights on your vehicle that are visible from directly in front. And if you go on the internet, you can find all kinds of videos about people who put lights behind the grills of their vehicles that are red and white or red and blue, and they drive around, and if they want traffic to clear out for them, they turn the lights on. And if you're not an emergency vehicle or you're not a police officer, you're not supposed to do that. And it's funny because they'll pull somebody over and find the lights, and they're like, why do you have the lights in your car? Oh, I put them there, but I never use them. Okay, we got reports of you using them. Oh, me? Those lights? Oh, but we're not here to discuss the lights. We're here to discuss the license plates. Section 2 of House Bill 253 says it is unlawful to alter motor vehicle registration certificates, license plates, temporary license plates, mobile home stickers, or validation stickers, or to obscure license plates. So if you obscure your license plate, you are committing a crime now in Florida. And then it says a person may not alter the original appearance of a vehicle registration certificate, license plate, temporary license plate, mobile home sticker, or validation sticker issued for and assigned to a motor vehicle or mobile home, whether by mutilation, alteration, defacement, or change of color, or in any other manner. A person may not apply or attach a substance, reflective matter, illuminated device, spray, coating, covering, or other material onto or around any license plate which interferes with the legibility, angular visibility, or detectability of any feature or detail on the license plate, or interferes with the ability to record any feature or detail on the license plate. Person who knowingly violates this section commits a misdemeanor of the second degree. And I remember hearing ads on the radio for a spray you could spray in your license plate. And I remember hearing a guy talking about it going, but it's not illegal. It's not illegal. And in some states, without a law like this, it might not have been illegal. But right now, it specifically addresses a spray put on the plate to interfere with the legibility or visibility of the license plate. Notice that it says you cannot obscure the license plate. And it says specifically you cannot obscure it with respect to any feature or detail. And also it says about things on or around the license plate. So that license plate cover right there does cover some of the information at the bottom. And now I will tell you right now, I don't like license plate frames. I don't have license plate frames in any of my cars. I just don't like them. To me, they look tacky. But if you've got one on your car and you're in Florida, you might want to take a look at this because you might be committing a crime if you're driving it where it can be seen. And then also, they have outlawed license plate obscuring devices. And this is interesting because they describe a license plate device as a manual, electronic, or mechanical device designed or adapted to be installed in a motor vehicle for the purpose of switching between two or more license plates, or hiding a license plate from view by flipping the license plate so the license plate is not visible, or covering, obscuring, or otherwise interfering with the legibility, etc., of the license plate, or interfering with the ability to record the primary features or details of the license plate. And I talked about license plate flippers not so long ago. And I had someone contact me, I had several people contact me. And one guy goes, hey, Steve, they're perfectly legal as long as you don't use it in traffic. He goes, but you pull into a parking lot, and if there's police cars driving through there just trolling for vehicles, what's wrong with flipping the license plate to something else while the car's parked? Well, it depends. Are the police allowed to patrol the parking lot looking for illegally parked vehicles? Is it a public parking lot or is it a private parking lot? And those kinds of things might come into play. But what happens if the police officer drives by your car and the plate you've flipped to catches their attention? And then the question is, does your state have a law against displaying the wrong license plate on your car? I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, Steve, if it's on private property. Well, keep in mind that some laws involving traffic can affect behavior on private property. We've already talked about this. In most states, you can get a drunk driving ticket in a parking lot because they've decided that they don't want people drinking and driving in parking lots as long as it's open to the public. So if your state applies the same rationale that we don't want people putting fake license plates on cars, they might say, and we don't want you doing that in a parking lot where a police officer might be legitimately looking for cars and comes across yours and it's got a fake plate on it or the incorrect plate on it. So keep in mind that the new law is in Florida. It took place October 1st, and it addresses several things. And the first thing it addresses is the lights on your car. You cannot display a red light, a red and white light, or blue and white lights that are directly visible from the front. So you can't do that. But then we talk about the license plates. And keep in mind it addresses all kinds of things, including validation stickers, mobile home stickers, registration certificates, and so on. But the primary change to the law was the addition of the thing you cannot do things that make the vehicle license plate be obscured or harder to read than it was before. And so it really does look like a license plate frame would be against the law now in Florida. So this is going to bother a lot of people. Car dealerships in particular love to put the license plate frames in the cars and send them down the road so people go, oh, hey, you bought that car at such and such dealership. But it says right here, person may not apply or attach a substance, reflective material, illuminated device, spray, coating, covering, or other material onto or around any license plate which interferes with the legibility, angular visibility, or detectability of any feature or detail on the license plate, or interferes with the ability to record any feature or detail on the license plate. So you might say, but Steve, let's suppose that that license plate frame there didn't actually cover any of the words, any of the letters, any of the numbers. But see, it covers some of the blue there. So some people are to say, how can a prosecutor with a straight face say that there's some reason obscuring a piece of the license plate that has no language on it? How could that possibly be wrong? And I know what they're going to say. They're going to say because we use automated readers that often use artificial intelligence, and we have so many different license plates from so many different states, okay? Not every license plate in Michigan looks like that. We've got 20 or 30 different designs at least. And so the reader's got to be able to tell what state the plate came from, and depending on the angle and so on, it needs all the information it can get. So if you cover up some of that information, even if it's just decorative, they're going to say that can screw up the readers. And the court's going to look at that and go, well, that sounds like a rational reason. As long as you got a rational reason for it, it's going to be enforceable. So you can't say you weren't warned if you watch these videos. But I suspect there will be a time frame within which, if you're nice and polite and a police officer pulls you over and says, you got a license plate frame on your car, and you say, I've had it there for 3 years, police officer really should say, yeah, but the law changed in October, just to let you know. And it's just 2 screws. I mean, I suppose you could be using 4, but most people only use the 2. It's just 2 screws. Take it off and avoid the problem. So I suspect going forward, you're going to see a lot of license plate frames disappear from the roadways in Florida. But there you go. It's just the law. And again, don't blame me. I didn't draft this law. I didn't pass this law. I don't like this law because personally, I don't have a problem myself with a license plate frame as long as it doesn't cover anything that's vital. However, here's the law. And as a lawyer, it's my job to point out that there's a law that says this, and it's a new law, and a lot of people will probably be upset by it, as you can imagine, because a lot of people in Florida right now are breaking out the screwdrivers to remove their license plate frames. So there you go. Lewis, thanks for sending that. Carscoops.com's got a story on it, but you can find the law itself at HB 253 in Florida. Just type that in, and you should be able to find that the enrolled bill, which got passed and went into effect on October 1. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. I'm okay with my crazy.